So today I'm at Encore Reclamation because I've got a project in January to lay a reclaimed floor, and it's a bit dark in here. But what I thought I would do is just take you through 5 tips of buying reclaimed wood for flooring. So tip number 1 is moisture content, and I've got my assistant here who's showing me. We've just got a little bit of a script going on. So tip number 1 is moisture. Now, it's really important because a lot of this reclaimed material is either been in derelict buildings, or it's been kept in a barn, or it's been outside, and then it comes in and the moisture content can be quite high. So the optimum moisture content for your property would be, let's say, between 10 and 12% moisture content. Now, some of the material that you can buy from reclaim yards could be as much as 20. Sometimes I've bought some at 25%. So if you install, let's say you buy a floorboard that's 20% moisture content, if you install that into a property, that moisture then has to go somewhere and it will contract the board, and then you'll end up with big gaps going down the side. So you can fit a beautiful floor, absolutely no gaps whatsoever, and then in 6 months' time you have big, large gaps. So it's really, really important just to make sure that the moisture content is correct. Now, not everybody has a moisture meter, that's obvious, but it's always worth asking if the person that's selling the material does have a moisture meter. You can just check it, and as long as it's around between 10–15%, then you're fine. So that's moisture meter. What's next on the list, Floss?
Age.
The other thing is age. Now, a lot of the material that you'll be buying could be Georgian, it could be Victorian, it could be later. And that's something, again, just to ask, how old is the flooring? Now, there's a few things that you can look for. And one is colour. So when you take the back of the board and look at the reverse of the board, then you'll get a really lovely, lovely deep colour. So pine takes a long time to dull down. When it's freshly cut, it's obviously very pale. But over a few hundred years, it goes a really lovely, dark, deep sort of honey colour. So that's one way of telling, is the back of the board. If it's nice and sort of dark honey colour, then it's got a good age. And the other thing is, if the board is a Victorian board and it hasn't been sanded, then it's going to have some really lovely dents and scratches, and possibly a layer of thick varnish on as well. So that's another area. And just going on the point of sanding, it's preferable, if you're going to restore your floor by hand without sanding, then obviously you don't want to be buying reclaimed materials that have been sanded. So when I buy reclaimed materials, I will really look at the patina, look at all the texture and everything, see if I can see all this lovely dents and scratches on the boards, because that's what I want. Once that varnish is removed, that's what we're going to see, and that's ultimately what you want to see. You don't want to be taking varnish off and then finding out that there's the boards have just been sanded and there's no character at all. So sometimes a really dirty board will basically, you know, it looks awful, but underneath it's really, really good. What's next on the list, Floss?
Patina.
Patina. Okay, so we've sort of touched a little bit about patina, but you want to really find a board that when you remove the varnish, the patina is still there and it's nice and smooth. So again, we try to look at patina, dents, scratches, marks, that type of thing, and we don't want to have sort of big splinters sticking up and just rough surfaces. So patina is a really, really key example as well. And again, I will show you some pictures of patina as we go. Now, what's next on the list? Number 5?
Thickness.
Oh, the thickness is number 4. Yeah. Okay, so again, this is another thing to bear in mind, is when you buy reclaimed flooring, if you try and buy in a batch, because the batch would have come out of the same building or same room ideally, and that then there will be uniform thickness. So that's really important, because when you then lay your floor, you have got a uniform thickness, rather than if you buy batches, let's say you buy boards from 3 different batches, they're going to be 3 different thicknesses. So then you're going to have the trouble of running it through a planer thicknesser, and that's just more time. And also then you've got to worry about nails as well. When you put it through a planer thicknesser, then you've got nails that you've got to deal with, and then you can start breaking blades. So it's important to try and buy batches and try and buy them the same thickness. So what's next, Floss?
Nail.
Number 5?
Yeah.
Nails? Nails and fixtures? Okay.
Nails.
Okay, so number 5 on the list is nails. So sometimes nails can be hidden under the surface, and you have carpet tacks, you have staples, you have nails. And what this is that if you sometimes look at a floorboard and the surface looks absolutely fine, but you have these little raised bumps everywhere. Then when you clean it off a little bit further, you'll find that those little bumps are nails. And I've come across floorboards that have a wonderful patina, but they've got multiple carpet tacks. And that again is problematic. Now sometimes you can keep them in, but if you are going to machine the back of the board for thickness, then you have to make sure that there are ideally no nails. And if there are any nails, it's better that they've been pulled through the back rather than punched through the surface and there are no big holes. So it's just another thing to look out for are nails, tacks and staples in boards. So I think we've covered everything. Floss, is there anything else that you think's on the list?
Nope.
No, we think we covered the 5 points?
Yes.
Okay, so we have now covered our 5 points, and yeah, what we're going to do is just have a quick look at this wonderful reclamation building, which is Encore Reclamation, and we've got wonderful flooring in here, so we're just going to have a quick look and a scout. Shall we have a look, Floss? Come on then. Right, let's have a quick look. So when you come in to, I mean, this is a really, really organised selection of timber. Aldo keeps the boards in really, really good order, and everything is labelled here. This is for decking. There's various, here's some other boards that, you know, I wouldn't be putting this down for flooring because it's a resawn beam, but it could be flooring if you wanted a new look. And so there's lots and lots of different batches here. These are all batches of flooring, and this is quite a nice pattern on here, but it's quite narrow. So we've got some more around here and here. Now what I looked at, let's get this out, Floss. Okay, so when I'm talking about patina, you can see this board here.
It's got loads of little dents in it.
It has lots and lots of dents and scratches, and underneath here would be really, really wonderful colour.
Like in here, look. You can see it in that crack there. There's a nice sunset orange.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really, really lovely colour. So this is really good patina. Now, if we go to another board here underneath, talking about patina, and we take
look how dirty my hands
this one, for instance.
Just from looking at it, look how dirty
I know.
my hands get.
And this one is okay, but it hasn't had a finish on, so it's a little bit more exposed, and there's some raised grain.
Look, there's half of it. This is without the colour on it. This is.
Okay, yep, that's good. So, and if you put that one back, Floss. Thank you. Yeah, so this is a really, really good place to come and get wood. This is where I always come here to get my reclaimed wood for pine, because Aldo really knows his stuff, and he is really knowledgeable, understands exactly what I want, which is the sort of original patina. There's my thought.
Show them the witchcraft marks that I found.
We can show go on then quickly. Let's do the witchcraft marks. So Floss has found some witchcraft marks.
If you look here.
Okay.
You can, if you zoom in on the camera, there's a line there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the W.
That's
a good spot. That's a witchcraft mark there for Floss. Yeah. So, yes, this is where we are. Lots to choose from here. I've actually just loaded up with some flooring, which I will, in the Land Rover here. I've got my flooring, and then we'll get that back and I'll show you a little bit more about exactly what I'll be doing and with this flooring. So, anything else to say, Floss? Floss has been helping me today, and I've paid her in sweets.
Yeah, he's paid me in sweets.
Okay, good. Right, that's it.
So,
Bye.